Let's go.
All right.
Welcome to Mic'd Up and Misinformed with your host, Lunch Money and Mad Dog. This week, we're going to break down tomorrow, Saturday's UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Vallejos. And then we're going to give out each of our top 3 to 5 picks in March Madness of who's going to win the tournament this year. So let's get straight into it, man.
Let's go, baby. This is a decent card, actually. I know the last podcast I said there wasn't any good cards coming up, but this one's pretty good. I will say, dude, for the BMF title, they need to get two scrappers in there, bro. We can't have someone laying and praying for a BMF title. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like we did really good last week, aside from the main event. Like I gave out like a plus 680 parlay, and if you would have hedged on the max fight, Charles was plus money too. So regardless, you could have hedged for a win-win. And then my sure thing parlay was somebody with max. I can't think of the first leg, but he won relatively
Yeah,
easy too.
Max
Um,
Max kind of messed up our profits last week. We should have hedged it. I should have went and hedged it, but I really thought Max was going to win, dude.
hey, that's what
But all
happens
he did was
sometimes,
just stuck
man.
to his game plan. I mean, he just stuck to the game plan, kept it close, kept going for the single leg takedown, wouldn't let Max get up. And in Max's regards, I mean, he never got submitted. He got close. I think he might have like subtly tapped on that one too.
I thought he did
But
too, bro.
I thought he
So
did, bro. I thought he did.
we were super right about Raul Rosas Jr. We said he was the lock and he won sure thing. We're both on
Yep.
Kyle Barajo. He had won too. I called the Dober by knockout.
You
He knocked
did.
out
You
Michael
did.
Johnson. And
Which
then
was crazy.
there's one more wild one here.
And I know there people were saying that there was a hiccup with that fight. And same thing, his previous fight they pulled for suspicious betting. So who knows what to believe there, but Dober got the job done. I mean, that left hook just caught him and he was out cold. He even tried to get up on his knees and was like still falling back. So I don't think it was fake by no means.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was a clean knockout too. It's hard to, I don't know. I try not to get into the rumors and speculation. I'm sure
Yeah.
the sports betting does trigger some fights for people throwing fights and whatnot. But I think if you're betting sports, try your best to just not think about that because at the end of the day, there's going to be one winner and one loser, regardless of what side you're on. You might even bet the guy that did what they're supposed to do for you. So you
Yeah.
just it's hard. I just tried my best to not think about that because I
Yeah.
think all sports there's illegal things going on, but
For sure, dude.
I think we're gonna all gamble regardless.
Yes, obviously.
The only other underdog we also called was Cody Garbrandt, and that Long had so many fouls, and I'm glad they called the fouls too. I think the UFC,
Yes.
it's not good yet. They still have a lot more work to do, but they're getting better about taking points from fighters who are doing whether
Yeah.
illegal eye pokes or nut shots. It's
Well,
regardless, it's
especially
just not
after like
acceptable,
three
bro, and
low
it
blows.
changes the fight.
It does change the fight. And after like three low blows, you better do something about that, dude. I mean, he was just like bam, bam, bam. Cody's just like, are you kidding me? And he
Yeah,
kind of threw up in the towel right after the first one, too.
yeah, it's ridiculous, man. They need to do a better job of that. Oh, dude, here's something that I'm picking up on, bro. So this year, so far, especially lately, the underdogs have been winning on the main card,
On the
on the
main event, yeah,
main event.
at least,
Because
yeah, at
let's
least
look
out
at
of
the
the last
last,
two fights.
let's look at the last three. Strickland underdog versus Fluffy, Kavanaugh
Yep,
underdog versus Moreno, underdog versus Holloway. The last
yep,
three cards, the main event, the underdog has won. And then
yeah,
before that was Volk beat Lopez, and they were about that's like a coin flip odds. Volk was a small
yeah,
favorite, and then before that, Gaethje had upset Pimblett at like a plus 200,
yep.
and that was the first fight of the year. So the main the main events are 4-1 with the underdogs winning. I think that's something that's
Which is
interesting.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I would say out of the last like the co-main and the main, guaranteed at least one underdog's won like probably the last 2 months, dude. Honestly,
yeah, it's interesting, bro. Something to kind of pick up on. And also, if you do get to the last leg, I do typically like taking the favorite because it's a lot easy hedging the underdog. But I mean,
Yeah.
regardless, if you get to the last leg and it's more than plus 200, it's definitely hedgeable.
Yeah, we should have hedged it. I really thought Max was going to win. I was like, you even texted me and told me, and I was like, no, Max has got this.
Hey, I agreed with you. I was like, let's ride. So I mean, you
All
know what?
right.
That's what you get though. Like, if we would have hedged, we would have, still got some money, but we wouldn't have won as much. And that's what happens when you
Yeah.
put yourself in that high risk, high reward situation. So I don't regret it, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the next time we get in that situation, we'll probably end up
We'll be
winning.
hedging.
All right,
I
so
love it.
first fight of the night, we have Piera Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. Um, Piera is 11-2 and Sam is 11-6. I know Sam is the vet here. She's had a lot more UFC fights. She's been in the UFC longer and has a better resume. I'm not sure what the odds are reflecting here, though. It seems like Rodriguez is more of an up and comer.
Rodriguez is then they fought once before too. They fought once before. Rodriguez is the favorite at minus 150 and Sam Hughes at plus 130. I just feel like Sam Hughes hasn't really like changed or has grown in the UFC. I feel like she just fights the same no matter what. Like I don't know who her coaches are or how she's training, but I feel like she doesn't adapt or try to better herself. So I kind of see this one going to the same as last time. I think Rodriguez wins by decision, the same as they fought before.
I think I'm sure the odds are like I'm just guessing top of my head the over under. The over is probably a minus 250, but I would just bet that this fight goes to a decision. If Sam wins, typically she's wrestling to a decision, and I don't see Pierre being like a big finisher either, especially against Hughes, who um, is is pretty defensively sound, and she just wants to wrestle you the whole time. So whether she gets the takedown or
Yeah.
not, it's going to be a lot of grappling and clinch work, and I don't see this fight finishing at all.
Now the over is over 2.5 at minus 550. So I mean everyone's going to
Wow,
the
yeah,
decision.
that. I'm just gonna pass then, but the over would be the
Yeah,
best
that's
play for me.
insane. That's actually insane.
Yeah, minus five. Jeez. All right, next fight we have Luan Lacerda versus Hecher Sosa. I don't know either one of these fighters, bro. I'm not very familiar. Maybe they fought on the Contender Series. I honestly do not know, so I don't really have a play here at all for you.
So I think you just skipped two fights, bro. You skipped Elijah Smith and Beatrice.
Let me see.
I
They
know it
are
seems
on
weird.
it shows me those they're on the main card. Or no,
That's
they're on
crazy.
the prelims. I'm on the early prelims. Like right now I see Sosa Lacerda and then Mesquita and Rendon.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's weird. On the book, it says that Elijah Smith is at 245, but we'll run with it. So let me see. I'm pull up my. Yeah, I mean, both of these guys are kind of newer, right? I do kind of like Lacerda overall. I think he has had better competition, and he fights to win. He's going to look for the sub. He's going to try to grapple and take you down, and he's looking to kill. This isn't going to be a lay and pray scenario. He's gonna take you down and be looking to submit you one way or another. And I don't know that much about Souza.
Yeah. I wish I knew more about these fighters, but I guess I'll evaluate them this weekend and have more an opinion going forward.
Yeah,
And
so I'm
sorry about
taking the
that too,
underdog.
bro. I'm just going off ESPN, so if I do skip a fight, I can always scroll up
You're
and
cool. You're good, bro.
match
You're
you
good.
up
You're
where
good.
we're at. So next up on my on the card I'm looking at, we have Bia Mesquita versus Montserrat Rendon. I don't know much about either of these fighters either, but I promise you going forward, I will definitely have picks.
Yeah, no, you're good, dude. I think this is kind of the similar, literally like what I just said. I think Beatrice is going to fight more aggressively. Same, she's looking for the sub. She's looking to grapple and take you down. And the odds, I mean, they reflect it too. At minus 750 for Beatrice and Rendon's at plus 500. So I mean they're looking for her to get it done. Now the over under it's over 2.5 is even. So I mean I think this one I don't think it'll go to the distance, but it could go over the 2.5 and get that late finish sub. So I like Beatrice here.
Bia Mesquita.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I will be on the lookout. She's undefeated, so she must be pretty
Yeah,
good.
she fights aggressively. I like this.
All right, next up we have Brad Tavares, actually two OGs in the UFC versus Eric Anders. I believe I read something that said this makes Brad Tavares the this will be like his 27th UFC fight. I'm not sure which number exactly is his UFC fight, but he now has the most fights held in the middleweight division after tonight
Dang.
Saturday's fight. I think that's interesting.
No,
So
that's crazy.
and which also means it's a special night for him, you know, that to
Yeah.
have the most fights in the middleweight division. And I actually like this matchup a lot for him. They're always putting Brad Tavares against, you know, he's like the gatekeeper for contenders. You know, if you got to beat
Yeah.
Brad Tavares to be one of the guys getting ready to fight for a title shot, and Eric Anders is quite a step down from where Tavares was fighting. So I feel like this is a great matchup for him as long as you can get him under like a minus 250, I think Tavares is definitely a first legger of my parlay here.
So this is what's crazy is I like Tavares a lot too. I think he has got more experience. I think this is a good matchup for him. The odds were like minus 140, but they've shifted. People are putting money on Anders. I'm not sure why. So now it's basically a pick 'em. It's at minus 110 for both. But Tavares was the favorite at like minus 140 yesterday. So I don't know if somebody saw something or if the weight cuts didn't look well. I didn't go look at the weight cuts today. So I don't know what difference there is there, but I definitely like Tavares, especially at a freaking pick'em, dude. I'm gonna take that all day.
Yeah, that does worry me a little bit. I didn't know that information. I'm glad you said that. But you're 100% right, bro. Um, you know, injuries in the camp could make a big difference, especially if they leak late right before the fight or if they had a bad weight cut. So there's definitely a lot of factors, especially in the you know, up to the week before the fight. You know, a lot could change
Yeah.
definitely, and the odds could reflect that. So I'll definitely pay attention. But as of right now, I'm still rolling with Brad Tavares.
Yeah, I'm still rolling with Tavares, dude. Unless I go see something later tonight or tomorrow that changes my opinion. So, like you said, I don't know. Maybe he was late to the scale, or maybe he missed weight. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was crazy that the odds shifted so much already before the fights even started.
Yeah, let's keep watching that because I'm sure you know a lot of money comes in the day of the fight. So tomorrow,
Yeah.
if the odds shift even more, that will definitely be a red flag for Tavares.
Yep.
Next up, this is gonna be a hard first name to say here, but we have uh, Balahi Aki versus Manuel Sosa. Um, Aki's pretty good here, bro. I think I'm taking Aki, but I don't. I haven't seen Sosa fight much, but I do like Aki in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one because Aki just got KO'd, so I always feel like it's a little weird coming back after getting knocked out. I don't know much about Sosa, so personally, I'm going to stay away from this one. But Aki's at plus 220 and Sosa's at minus 270,
Wow.
and I think
Let's
this
see.
is Sosa's first fight in the UFC. I think it's his first fight.
Yeah, he's coming off the contender series where he had a knockout in round three. Um, you know, his record is 13-1, so he must be serious. Rocky here, you're right. He got knocked out by who was that? Mason Jones. Mason Jones isn't a bad fighter. He's been in and out of the UFC. And before that, he had a win by decision, and then he lost by sub to Chris Duncan. So, oh, that does worry me here. I think I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind, and I'm gonna pass on this fight.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think Oki does have a good experience. I just don't know much about the other guy, and there's not a lot of value for me here.
Yeah, maybe I'll sprinkle Aki the night of the fight. That's one of those matchups I'm going to see where the public money lies.
Yeah, I mean, if you like him already and at plus 220, it's worth a sprinkle for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the underdog I do like though. Next up, we have Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. Elijah Smith is a new and upcomer. He's at 9-1, and Yu is 16-3. Who do you like in this matchup?
So I think both of these guys have like three fights in the UFC total, right? Um, but I think Elijah Smith, dude, I think he fights to kill. I mean, I think he comes out here and is looking for the finish. He's not. I wouldn't say he's fighting like smart or intelligently. He just goes out there and is just looking to either knock you out or take you down and submit you. I feel like he's got the better rounded game overall. So I'm definitely liking Elijah a lot on this one.
I feel like it's looking like it could be a close fight. Both guys have won their last three fights in the UFC. The biggest difference that I'm looking at right here is two things. The age, Smith's 23, Yu is 30, so it's a 7-year age difference. And then also the reach.
Yeah,
Smith has a 6-inch reach advantage, and I think that could that might be the X factor in this matchup is that reach
yeah,
advantage
for sure.
that Smith has. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
roll with you here and take Elijah Smith.
yeah, I like Smith minus 270. So Young Yu is at plus 220.
It's a little bit heavy of a price tag. I'd probably put Elijah Smith at like minus 180. So that is pretty heavy of a price tag there. But I guess if you want to put him in a parlay, that might work out for you. You could get him in a 2 or 3 teamer and get it closer to even money.
Yeah,
So, all right, man.
yeah, this is a heavy
Next up,
favorite.
we have Victor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. Asplund's an up and comer in the UFC. Victor Petrino's relatively new as well. He's been in the UFC for the last couple of years. He's pretty green and young. And Asplund just fought on the Contender Series like not too long ago. I know he's had one official fight in the UFC since the Contender Series, and he got a Contender Series and in his last fight, which was December 13th, both were knockout wins. So Asplund
Yeah,
definitely has some hands. Petrino, he can get it done all three ways. He can knock you out, he can submit you, or win by decision. The only weakness that I see for Petrino, and the only way that he gets takes a loss in this matchup is if he gasses out and Asplund knocks him out late in the second or third. I feel like Petrino's gas tank isn't the best. He's so muscular, he's ripped, dude. He's shredded. I
yeah,
feel
he's
like
shredded.
that
He's
kind of build in
shredded.
the UFC, you just gas fast, man. But he's
Yeah,
coming
I
off.
mean, he just
He has two wins by finishes, one by sub, one by KO. His last loss was to just Dustin Jacoby by a KO. So Jacoby knocked him out. That is a little alarming for Petrino going into this matchup.
yeah. That's the only thing. I think I don't. Again, I'm leaning towards Asplund. I'll take the odds at plus 195. I think he's got the KO power, but anything could happen in this match. Honestly, I mean, either one of these guys could get caught. Like you said, Asplund could get pulled down to the floor, and he could get submitted by Petrino easily. I don't think he's got the greatest ground game. I think he really wants to stay up and stay standing. So, I think whoever can control the ring for their overall best abilities. That's who's going to win here. So if it's a standing match, I lean towards Asplund. But if Petrino's really be able to wrestle and take him down, he'll probably get the submission.
Yeah, I agree. Petrino's path to victory, he has to keep shooting those takedowns. Whether he holds them down or not, he's got to keep shooting.
Yeah.
If it stays on the feet, Asplund becomes a favorite quick.
Yep.
So I like Petrino a lot here, though, and I will tell you right now, I'm putting him in one of my plays 100%.
I love it.
Next up, we got Chris Curtis versus whoo, Meitzbeck Oralby.
I would have
um,
said oral by.
what are the odds on this one, bro?
I feel like they're not too bad. Please here. All right, so actually it's stacked. Oral buys at minus 350 and Curtis is at plus 275. And I mean, I wouldn't say this is a layup, but I really think Oral By gets the job done. I think Chris Curtis is kind of past his prime a little bit. And again, he definitely has the ability to catch a KO or do something crazy at any moment. But I think Oral By's got the better hands and better conditioning in general. And just, whether he takes him to decision or gets a KO, I think he gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean, he's 10 years younger. Chris
Yeah,
Curtis is 38 years old. Oralby is 28. He's got all the momentum in the world right now, and he just beat Jack Hermanson by knockout in his last fight. Um,
which is huge.
yeah, and with Chris Curtis, let's see when he fought last. I feel like he hasn't fought in a while. He fought in last July, and he beat Max Griffin in a split decision. and then he lost to Roman Kopylov and Brandon Allen the two fights before that. I just feel like the odds are a little bit high in this matchup. It's Earl Buy or pass for me though.
Yep. Yeah, that's a parlay piece.
All right, next up we have flyweight matchup Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson. Who you got?
Well, I'm kind of torn on this one a little bit, dude, to be honest with you. But I would say the biggest difference to me is Charles Johnson's kind of been on a little bit of a winning streak, dude, and he beat Kavanaugh, he beat Joshua Van. So I feel like this is like his last time to really push and try to go somewhere with his career. So I'm leaning towards Charles Johnson overall. I don't know. This is kind of a tough one, man. And the odds are Charles Johnson minus 170, Silva plus 145. But I mean, by all means, dude, Silva could get the job done.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a pick 'em matchup here. Silva
Yeah,
really struggles with good strikers. Out of his last 5 fights, his two losses were to Joshua Van and Manel Kopp. So, and those are the cream of the crop of the division. So, respect
yeah,
there. He beat Park by sub in his most recent fight. So, I feel like Bruno's path to victory is to submit you or get you on the ground. Both guys
yeah,
are
for
age 35. Silva has a little bit more miles on the tank. Charles Johnson's a little newer to MMA, even though he's older. Um, Johnson is such like he's so unpredictable in his fights. He like you said, he beat Joshua Van, which is the current champion, um, who Bruno actually lost to. But two of his last three fights, he's lost. I mean, the only
yeah,
thing I would say Johnson is lock here, but the fact that he lost to Alex Perez in his last fight, who's more of a wrestling type of fighter, Alex Perez KO'd him, and I feel like Charles Johnson just he's not very consistent, man. Because if he puts it together, Bruno Silva struggles against strikers, and Charles Johnson's a really good striker. But
yep,
I just don't know what I'm gonna get out of Johnson consistently. But if I had to pick a fighter here, I'm gonna take Charles Johnson. I'm gonna look for him to
love it.
get a rebound from that Alex Perez loss.
Yeah, I think this is his kind of last real hurrah here before he ages out.
Yeah, both these guys are like kind of stuck in the middle of the rankings in the division. Like I feel like they're like both
Yeah.
between like top 10 to 20 ranking.
Yeah, I'd say 15. I'd give them both like right in that 15 area, like you said.
Yeah, they're respectable, but probably not. I wouldn't say either one of them is a contender or will ever
Yeah,
be in the top five, respectfully. All right, next
agreed.
up we have a light heavyweight bout: Ian Cutelaba, the Hulk, versus Omar Sy. Sy is 12-1, and Cutelaba has been in the UFC for a really long time, man. He's 19-11. He's only 32 years old though. That's pretty crazy. He must have got to the
I
UFC as
think
super
he
young.
looks much. Yeah, he looks much older too. I just feel like same thing. I feel like Ian doesn't fight consistent all the time. You just don't know which version of you're gonna get out of him. Sometimes he shows up and he completely controls the ring and does his job and does very well. Other times, I don't know if he gets in his own head or just maybe training or other things behind the scenes. But I feel like he gets in there and he's not like actively aggressive or he's not punching enough to get the win on the scorecard. So it's really hard for me to want to bet on Ian overall. So I'm taking Cy here for sure, man. I think he either wins by knockout or just straight up goes to the decision.
Yeah, I like Sy a lot. If you're on the Cutelaba side, I would say first round or bust. But I like Sy to win anything beyond the first round pretty confidently, especially if it was to make it to a decision. So, and I
Love it.
like
Agreed.
Cutelaba a lot, and he's dangerous.
He is
He's had a long.
dangerous. He
He's
just
19-11 for a reason, bro. It's like every time in his career where he started to get momentum, he usually kind of
yeah.
stops himself and gets back in that. So he just stays kind of in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's like a mental block or something when he gets to a bigger, show. It's like all of a sudden he loses. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't even know what to say.
It's kind of like how I was talking about Michael Johnson last week, where he gets on these win streaks and then he kind of beats himself,
Yeah,
and it's like he just has this mental block he can't get over. And in
yeah,
Kutalaba, I'm not comparing them because Kutalaba's always been a little bit lower in the rankings. Michael Johnson's been up there in the top of the top.
yeah,
Um, Kutalaba is the same way. I just feel like he has this mental block of why he's not progressing in the sport.
yep.
All right, next up we have Harry Hardwick versus Marwan Rahiki. Rahiki is 7-0. Harry is 13-4. It's a featherweight bout. Who do you like in this one?
I don't really know much about either of these guys, dude. Honestly, overall, I do like Rahiki's got 100% finish rate. I mean, every fight he's fought, he's finished, and the odds are 270 for Rahiki and Hardwick at plus 220. So I mean, I would lean towards the favorite here for sure, just because of the record. And again, if you're finishing everybody every time you get in the ring, that you're hungry, you're ready to get the job done.
So it's showing that Hardwick he came from Cage Warriors and he's had one fight in the UFC and he got knocked out in the first round. So in my opinion, since he got knocked out in the first round in that last fight and it was his only fight in the UFC, I'm gonna assume that he took the fight on short notice and the UFC gave him like a 2 or 3 fight contract, kind of like what they did with
Yeah,
Chris Martino versus Sean O'Malley. They're like, "Hey, thanks for taking the short notice. We'll give you a
yep,
couple fights in the UFC, as a token of gratitude." And with this
yeah.
one, this is Hardwick's just another fight to have in the books. He's got nothing to lose, but Rahiki's gonna dominate him here, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what the stats tell me. The Rockies just gonna go get in and get the job done.
Yeah, I think Rahiki. What's odds on that one again?
Minus 270. The under 2.5 is at minus 155.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll take. I'll still take Rahiki. I do want to know. I know it doesn't hold a lot of weight. However, Patty Pimblett was a Cage Warriors champion before coming over, but before
Okay.
Hardwick had came over to the UFC, it looks like he was the champion and defended his belt 3 times before coming over. And again, I know it's Cage Warriors, but he does have a resume of being a
Yeah,
champion in another organization. So that's something to note and respect a little bit.
for sure.
But man, it's kind of hard with some champions. Like you get freaking what's his name? Oh, what that? Who's that wrestler? Patchy Mix. You get Patchy Mix, who is a champion
Yeah.
at Bellator and PFL, and loses every fight in the UFC. And then now he was in this whole other organization. He got knocked out. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He was in this super low level organization and got knocked out a couple weeks ago. Like,
Interesting.
but yeah, if you're not a UFC champ, it's hard to for it to be well respected in MMA for the fans.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean
Next up,
it's
oh,
just
so I'm sorry.
the you're good. It's just the leagues are so different, right?
Yeah, bro, the talent is just completely different. I mean, you'll get like this is a once in a lifetime kind of guy, but like Alex Pereira coming over, you know, as a
Yeah.
world kickboxing champion, that's very rare where somebody like that comes over and dominates the sport of UFC. And respect to him. And also, I feel like coming from where he did, you got like Adesanya, Dustin Jacoby. I think Muay Thai translates a lot better than other sports coming into the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The
Muay Thai
base to be a good
kickboxing.
UFC fighter, you either have to have a really good Muay Thai background or a really good wrestling background. Because even if you're good at jujitsu, I mean that's kind of like, you don't even see like what's it called? You don't see like you don't see very many
You don't,
submissions anymore. Period. But you
yeah.
don't see as many
It-
triangles. You never
exactly.
armbar. You never see
Yeah,
armbar
there's no more
submissions anymore.
armbar. When's the last time you saw like a Kimura, dude? That stuff. Everyone knows how to wiggle out of
Defend
it
it
or
now.
switch
The
directions.
only guy that's doing any submissions with people's legs is Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's
Exactly.
brother. But yeah,
Dude, it's like,
I
you know
think
what?
jujitsu is important, but you're just
Yeah,
it's not being utilized in the sport as much because people are learning how to defend it, which is a bigger advantage than being able to
yeah, for
be
sure.
effective.
Well, even look at Ronda Rousey coming from the judo. Like at first she was kicking ass, but once people kind of figured it out, then it was like she wasn't a big deal anymore, you know?
Yeah, and another judo person, Kayla Harrison, who came over and has been extremely effective and dominant. With her, in my humble opinion, I think one, she works harder than most
Yeah,
female athletes. Kayla Harrison is just a freak in the gym, but
yeah,
also she's a huge weight bully, bro. Come fight night, she's probably 20, 30 times pounds
yeah.
bigger
At
than her
least.
opponent every fight. And I'm not saying that's
She,
excuse to why she wins, but when
no,
you're
no,
that
that
heavy
helped.
and your judo and wrestling's that good,
Yeah,
it's a little bit easier for you.
for sure. No, that helps tremendously.
All right, next up we got Andre Fili versus Miguel Delgado. Delgado is 10-2. Andre Fili's been in the UFC since dinosaur ages, it feels like. And he's not like you would think he'd be like almost 40 now. He's 35 years old, which is older, especially for the featherweight division. But man, Fili has just always kind of held his ground as being like a gatekeeper, in my opinion, for good fighters.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he's like in the top 12 to 8 basically at any given time, right? I do like Feli's experience here over Delgado overall. The odds are crazy though. Delgado's at minus 450 and Fili at plus 335. So I'm going to lean towards the underdog here, man. I think the experience might outtake it and he might get the W.
You know what's crazy too, bro, is for the odds to be that heavily favored towards Delgado. Delgado's last fight was a decision loss to Nathaniel Wood. And
Isn't that crazy?
Nathaniel Wood is a decent fighter, but you would think for what you see for the odds for this Saturday, you would have thought Delgado's
Exactly.
been would have knocked out
Yeah.
Nathaniel Wood in the first round. So I think the value definitely 100% lies on Andre Fili. I think it's take Fili or bust here, and especially that
Yeah.
big of an underdog. That's kind of crazy to me, bro.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, so I've definitely taken Felix. I think the underdog value is there, 100%.
All right, let's do it, bro. Let's take Fili. Let's sprinkle Fili. And then next matchup, bro, I feel so confident about this one. Like so confident. We got Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. You want to start it off?
I mean, Robertson's just riding the momentum, man. I mean, she's a freaking beast in the ring, dude, like in every aspect, too. When's the last time Lemos fought?
Lemos, I'll pull her up
Yeah.
right now. So Lemos lost to Tiana Suarez. She lost in a decision in September of 2025. So last year during September, and then before that she beat Lucindo, and then she lost to Verna Jandaroba. She
I
did
just
beat
feel like she hasn't
Mackenzie
been
Dern though before that.
that active. Which I was gonna say, Lemos had a good couple of years there, and she looked like she was climbing the ranks. But I think she's kind of like that, like a gatekeeper again. I think she's kind of in the top 10 area, but I don't know if she'll ever quite make it to the contender spot. But I think Jillian, dude, has just got nothing but sky above her, man. I think she can really keep growing and keep going in the right direction, and she has all the momentum going into this fight. I mean, if she wins this, everyone's gonna know her name.
Yeah, I feel like she has and I want to say she has the most finishes um in the strawweight division's history too. She's definitely like in the top five with finishes. She's super grappling, wrestling heavy. She wants to take you to the ground and maul you, throw elbows, choke you out, find a submission. Her game is definitely to get you on the ground though, 100%. If it's standing, that's Lemos's world. But Amanda gets taken down super easy and often. And Lemos has only been on the decline too, in my opinion. She's 38 years old. Robertson's coming into her prime at only 30 with tons of UFC experience as well for being a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
I feel like the odds Robertson should be a minus 500 right here in my opinion. I think she is an absolute lock, bro.
Yeah, they have her at minus 220, and Lemos is at plus 180. So I mean,
If you're
it's not
taking
even.
Lemos, you have to take her by knockout. Maybe Jillian shoots and Lemos throws up a knee or maybe hits her with an elbow in, but that's her only path to victory. She gets taken down too easy and too often, and that's just Robertson's world. I think that this is a horrible stylistic matchup for Lemos.
Yeah, I think Robertson definitely gets the job done here. I think, like you said, I think this is the lock of the night, dude, for sure.
Yeah, and the odds, I love the odds. I think those are great odds.
Yeah, minus 220. That's good.
All right, bro. We finally made it to our main event of the evening. We got old man Josh Emmett, UFC veteran, versus Kevin Vallejos, who's an absolute dude. Both of them are in great shape. I'll say both of them are in great shape,
Yeah.
but Vallejos is a unit, bro, and he's only 24 years old. Emmett, for being in the featherweight division, is 41 years old.
What I mean, like you said, it's crazy. I mean, he's been around forever. He's fought everybody. The only thing I would say is I think Josh Emmett has a chance in, let's say, the first 1.5 rounds. And then that age factor, I think he starts to get gassed out a little bit. His power starts to suffer a little bit. And Vallejos is, I mean, he's just, again, riding the momentum. He could KO anybody, anytime. I think this is going to be a great stand up match, dude. Um, Emmett definitely could try to go in and start wrestling a little bit if he feels like he doesn't have the ability to stay standing. But I think Vallejos can get the job done on either side of it, dude, whether it's standing or down on the ground. And the
You
odds are
see, you got
disgusting.
Vallejos.
I'm taking Vallejos, yeah, minus 550. And Emmett at plus 410.
You know who I'm going with?
But you're Emmett. I can tell already by the way you're looking at me.
Josh Emmett by knockout. I feel like
See?
his experience is going to come in handy here. Vallejos has the most paths to victory. I think he could get a sub. He could definitely win the decision. He mixes it up a little bit better. But
Yeah.
Josh Emmett has that nasty, lethal right hand, and I think that he's going to land that this fight. Vallejos is super young. He's only 24 years old. This is definitely a fight he could lose and look back on and gain a lot of experience and grow from this fight. And again, I just feel like I like taking the younger fighters, but at only 24 years old, I just don't feel like I feel
Yeah,
like
he's
this is
green.
a big step for him. And I think Emmett is 1-4 or 1-5 in his last five fights.
Yeah,
I want to say
it
one
is.
and four for sure.
He's
But
1-5.
this is a very winnable fight for him. I think Vallejos will get overconfident, and Emmett's gonna knock him out. And it's 5 rounds to do so too, bro.
And that's what I said. I think in the first, yeah, it is 5 rounds. In the first 1.5 rounds, I mean, Emmett by all means has the ability to get a KO. And like you said, I mean, he's like a little bulldog, dude. Is the best way to describe him. I mean, he's got the power. He'll shoot in on you, and he'll dirty box you. He'll hit you from the outside. Yeah. So I think if it goes longer than two or into the third round, I think Vallejos has definitely got the. But at minus 550, there's just not a lot of value. Or put it at the end of your parlay and hedge it easily at plus what 550
And I'm
plus
thinking
410.
too, like I might, I could totally be wrong here, but I'm thinking Emmett's live for all 5 rounds here because even though he is older, when it gets into the later rounds, Vallejos hasn't had that kind of experience where he's fought deep in a
That's
five
fair.
round fight before either.
Yeah,
Emmett has a lot more
that's fair.
experience with possibly cardio here in this matchup too. Because training versus being in that, I wouldn't know, but training versus
Yeah,
being in that
yeah.
those 5 round wars, I feel like that's just a totally different breed. And let's look at Emmett's last four losses. It's ugly to be 1-4 in your last fights, but Yusuf Zalal, contender, not at the top of the list, but contender.
Yeah.
Leron Murphy is fighting for the title after Evolov. No, isn't he fighting Evolov for a title shot?
Yeah, I think so. I think
So
that's the match.
that's the top contender fight. And then he lost to Ilia Topuria, who nobody can mess with. And then
Yeah,
he
that's
lost to
interesting too.
Yair Rodriguez, who is top five in that division. So his losses, he's only losing to the best fighters in that division. And Vallejos, like I said, 24 years young. And I would probably take Vallejos, like if you told me it was a coin flip, but with the odds like that, I think Emmett I feel like the Vallejos should have been like minus 165. So for the odds to be that, it makes me want to slam him it, bro.
I love it. Yeah, I love it, dude. I'm still keeping Vallejo overall, but I mean, I think Josh definitely has the chance and the ability to get a KO, especially
Yeah, and
early.
and if he's plus like three something,
Oh,
if you
plus 410.
410. So if you take him by KO, you're probably getting him up to play probably plus 500-600.
Oh yeah, probably. Let's see if we'll have it up here quick. Yeah, Emmett by KO plus 800.
That's the
That's
play.
crazy. I
That's
kind
the
of like
play.
that actually, dude. I would do that. Because I think he does have the ability to do it in the first 2 rounds. I think after that he starts to. I think the age just factors into the conditioning aspect, but I think he definitely has the ability to get a KO by all means, dude. And a
You're
plus
sitting
eight
pretty though,
hundred.
bro, because
Man.
if your parlay or whatever you take does get to that last fight, it's an easy hedge for you. So totally understandable. And also, like we talked about earlier, bro, the last three main events, the underdogs have won
I
this
know
year.
it's
So far as
crazy.
the year of the underdog main events.
Yeah, it's crazy. I agree, dude. I don't know if the books are doing it on purpose or they're just messing with people psychologically.
All right, man. I got a banger parlay for you.
All right, so I just did one parlay, 1 unit, and it's Oral By to win against Curtis, Elijah Smith against Yu Young, and I took Vallejo at the last one because I knew I could hedge it.
I like it,
And
bro. Not bad.
plus 106, so it's basically just even money.
Okay. Um. Okay. All right, dude. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing a max bet, straight bet on Jillian Robertson. I know it's a super ugly minus 220, but I'm saying I'm putting like if I bet, let's just say if I'm betting usually like 1 unit, I would put like 4 or 5 units on this one. Like I would go pretty heavy on straight up Jillian Robertson here. So if I'm a 1 unit better, I would bet 4 or 5 on Robertson straight up. I just feel so
Uh,
confident about that. And then um I would put 1 unit on Emmett and a quarter unit on Emmett by knockout.
one
That's what
unit,
I'm looking at.
1 unit on MA.
What 1 unit on Emmett and then a quarter
Uh,
unit on him by knockout. So that way, if the Robertson bet, which it won't, loses, then Emmett could save the day or just leave me in shambles. But Emmett could bring all that back.
and then a quarter unit, you said, right, on knockout?
Yeah.
All right, done, dude. So I did 4 units on Robertson's, and then one and a quarter.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And I mean, I do like other plays. Like we could give like a joint long one here, but those are like if I'm serious better, that's what I'm thinking, bro.
Now I like that, dude. And then let me pull this back up. Yeah, I mean, if you want to just do like kind of a little bit of a crazy one and just do it for a quarter unit, I'm good with that.
Let's do it. So let's do Elijah Smith. I'll try to
Yeah, I
pick
like
ones
some.
we both like. Do you like
Yeah, I
Charles
like.
Johnson too over Bruno Silva?
Yes, yep,
All right, let's take that. Let's take Sai
yep,
over Kutsalaba.
for sure.
Let's take, bro. Let's
I'm gonna
make
put.
this one.
I'm
Do
putting
what?
Robertson on that one too. I'm putting Robertson's on that one too.
Yeah, Yeah, I feel crazy. So, um, and then let's put
I mean, that's at plus 330 already.
yeah, let's do that. I feel calm because I was gonna add Rahiki, but I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like Harry might have had a fluke loss, so let's just leave that one off and do the other ones.
All right, I like that, dude. So I'll do that one for a half unit, and that pays, a unit and a half. So three plus 338. So I like that.
Okay, let's do it.
Bam. So we're riding kind of heavy this week, especially on Robertson's.
Yeah, dude, she's gonna make or break it. But dude, 38 to age 30, Robertson's got all the momentum. She puts in the work. Lemos has already been there, done that. She's had title shots and she's only been declining. It's gonna have to be a really lucky knockout. And I just feel like Robertson should be a minus 400 in this matchup. Like genuinely, I just feel that way. And
Yeah, the
the
odds are
odds
pretty
are
crazy.
giving her some free money.
I love it, dude. All right, well, we'll just make a comeback this week, dude, and get the job done.
Yeah, hey, you know what? We're coming out for blood since we freaking didn't hedge. Dude, and it's so frustrating, like not hedging because we would have like if we would have hedged, we would have like been up like 2 or 3 units because we had a lot of
Yeah,
money on the line. But again, that's what you
we
get for
did.
riding, and we'll live with that. But just know this week we're gonna bet smart, and it's not gonna be the prettiest plays that we do, but if Robertson does win, now we're rolling into next week and we can get a little greedier again.
Yep, exactly. That's it. We just got to get the bankroll back up, and then we can start going for it.
Dude, if Robertson wins and Emma gets the KO, bro, we're eating some steak dinners, bro.
Yeah, we're in good shape,
We're
dude, for
eating
sure.
good. So, all right, so let's go ahead and. Oh wait, do you want to give a martingale? I know you usually give those out
Oh
for
yeah,
the
my
cards.
bad,
What do you
dude.
got? What are you thinking for that, bro? Because you
All right,
usually
so I took.
snipe on those.
I can at least do. All I have to do is just hit one of the three fighters. Essentially, I just need one of the three. So I took Rodriguez, which I think is the first fight of the night, and then Smith, and then Tavares. Those are my three. The only thing I don't like is Tavares is the line is slipping like crazy. So I might have to modify it or change it depending on what else I see. But I think I'm still going to ride with Tavares. 'Cause I don't think it's going to get that far. I think Elijah gets the job done, if not the first one, dude. So
Yeah, I was gonna say hopefully the first two legs. I would say maybe put Robertson as your last leg, but I know she is minus 220, so you'd have to put quite a bit of units on that. But I'm
yeah,
cool with what you got.
that's the only bad part. I try not to. I try to keep them like at right at minus 200 or less, because then it just kills it. So I started with 100, and it's up to I want to say 184 or something, just by doing even just to win like $5, $8, $10 every card. So this time I'm trying to win like between $10 and $15. So
Where
then
are we
same
at
thing.
from the beginning of the podcast? I know we lost some units last week. How many are we down now?
Yeah, well, we're still up a half unit technically. So I mean, we still haven't lost, but that's just because we got smacked so hard last week, dude. So if we can kill it this week, we're way up again. So then we can start going a little heavy. And again, I think that's where the bankroll management comes in play, not going crazy all the time, trying to get a couple good wins in, and then try to smack something. And I mean, we just if we would have hedged, we still would have been up probably like you said 3 or 4 units easy.
Hey, bro, and I'm just saying, like, it's unfortunate. Like I know as we do the podcast, more and more people will, we'll get more viewers and followers over time. But bro, we're giving out bangers like gems on the podcast. Like,
Yeah,
dude, our plays we're giving out. If you just listen to our podcast, there's so many plays that we're giving out that we don't put on our official bet slips that are cashing. Like that
yeah,
Dilber by knockout. That a couple weeks ago, I took somebody by decision. It was like a plus 800. Um,
yeah. It was.
but I mean, we're giving out like gassers, dude. So
Yeah, for sure.
if you're
And it's
following
just
along, you're
hard.
definitely making some money.
Yeah,
Even and then last
exactly.
Cody Garbrandt is underdog. What was he like? Plus like almost 200 or something.
Yeah, it was high too because I thought it was crazy because I thought it was gonna be more of a pick 'em, and I saw that and I was like, Psh, I'm taking Cody for sure.
Yeah, dudes. And if we go on a cold streak, do whatever you want, but we're giving out bangers. And we've been doing
Yeah,
this for a while now, months, and we're just up in our units. It's hard to step. Usually, if you're if you're winning 50% clip, you're considered a great sports bettor. And gambler in general. So the fact that we're probably sitting at like 55% after we just had a horrendous not hedging card, that's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
Really, if we would have hedged it, we would have been fine. So that's my fault. And I
No,
think
that's me too.
honestly, again,
No, because you consented, like we talked about it, so it's no big
yeah,
deal. We both wanted to ride that out. So,
yeah. And again,
all
just
right.
to
So
be
going
plus
into
money.
March Madness, bro. I know we talked a little bit about it last week with a couple teams who might win it all. Up to date, it is Friday right now as we're recording this. Starting next week around Thursday, Friday, the tournament will be rolling. The first and for the first round and second round will be later on next week. Who's your top? Um, I don't know, however many you want to give, 3 to 6 teams that you think could win all of March Madness. The last standing team in America for men's college basketball.
I don't know, dude. It's kind of tough, man, because you're starting to see people fade out a little bit. But I really would say I still like Michigan. I like Arizona, of course. I think this is our year, honestly. Um, I think depending on what happens against your boys, Kansas and Houston tonight, that could kind of trigger me to go back on the Kansas side. I feel like the last like 3 games, they kind of had a little bit of a slump, but it seems like they've been kind of going back in the right direction. Um, I mean, I think Iowa State still has a chance, dude. Honestly, I know everyone's on Duke, but I don't really see Duke winning it this year. But I'll probably end up eating my words at the end of the year.
All right, dude. So I got a whole bunch of teams I'm gonna call out and say they're fraudulent too. No, okay. My first thing I'm gonna say, bro, I'm so confident. I don't want to jinx. I'm knocking on wood right now, but Arizona is a lock to win March Madness. Like, put your car,
Yeah,
your house, everything you own,
yeah,
put your 401k, your 401b, put it all on Arizona because, dude, they're the best team in college basketball by a landslide. Like, I don't think there's a close team to them. I think Michigan is good, but they're not on Arizona's level. Duke, same thing. Houston, super fraudulent. I like Iowa State a lot. I think they could be they could definitely make the Final Four at least. Alabama's can be scary. Arkansas, um, I don't think Florida's going to go real
Florida.
far. Maybe Elite Eight,
Yeah,
high ceiling.
exactly.
Con's super fraudulent. Don't put a dime on Connecticut. I think they're not going to do anything in the tournament. Dude,
Yeah, I would say
I just
that's
think
their
this
problem.
is Arizona's year. They haven't won a championship, I believe, since what, 97,
Yeah, it's
maybe
been like 20
98.
years.
It
Yeah,
was
maybe more.
97, 98 was the last time they won a championship, and they've gotten out in early rounds in recent years, and you know
Yeah,
I feel like after transitioning from um, Sean Miller to Tommy Lloyd, they've just turned a leaf and they're a completely different team. Tommy Lloyd has some stability. He's really taken over the program and molded it into the way that he wants it
yeah.
ran. Their resume and their record has really reflected that. And their only losses was to Texas Tech, who's going to be a tournament team, and to Kansas, who you know they also beat undefeated Iowa State at the time when they were like 16 or
Yeah.
17 and 0. So
Yep.
Arizona's only losing to cream of the crop teams. And even tonight, we just watched them play Iowa State, and Iowa State was up at halftime. And even
They
in
were.
close games, Arizona finds ways to win.
Yeah, I mean Iowa State was leading the whole time, and they started out like 12 points ahead in the first few minutes. And yeah, I think Arizona's a better second half team. So again, I don't know if it's conditioning or coaching or strategy. They always just find a way to get the job done. And I feel like the Kansas game, we were winning the whole time, and you guys just rallied at the end and ended up beating us at the very end right there.
Yeah, yeah. I feel Kansas is it's tough being a fan because we could beat any team any given night, but we could also lose to any team on any given night. I mean, Kansas could be a first round bust in the tournament or make it to the Final Four. So it's hard to if I wasn't a Kansas fan, it would be hard to want to bet on them because they're just such a box of chocolate team. You just really never know what you're going to get. There's two other teams that I think are really good dark horses. St. John's, they've been a little streaky lately, but St. John's is still a really good dark horse, and Wisconsin is on fire right now. Look for Wisconsin to maybe make a deep run in the tournament. They just beat Illinois in their Big Ten tournament today in the quarterfinal. Definitely a team to watch out for, and you can get really good payout on Wisconsin still too.
Plus 9,000. Wisconsin's at plus 9,000. That's crazy.
Bro, that's a beautiful, beautiful bet to sprinkle on. I mean, even if you're like, heck no, they couldn't win the tournament, put $5 on them, bro.
Just sprinkle it right now. I'm just going to
Yeah,
listen to you, man.
put a fiver on Wisconsin. They're a team that they won't make you feel crappy about betting on them. I mean, when you get anything above plus 5,000, if they make it to the Sweet 16, dude, that entertainment alone paid for my bet. I'm happy if they
Yeah,
just make a little run.
exactly. I love it, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, watch out for them. So, anyways, those are some of our picks to win it all. We both agree it's Arizona's tournament to lose, and also, um, even though they're top 3, 4 team to bet to win the tournament, Arizona is going to be favored in every single game they play. There's not one team that I believe, other than possibly Michigan, who, if Arizona is matched up against, they won't be the favorite. So if you do take a team, one of those top 3, 4 teams that you really believe in the way we do, it's not a bad hedge because they're going to be so highly favored. I mean, Arizona in the first two
Yeah,
rounds are going to be favored by double-digit points.
I'm sure, dude. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So then there's just so another good thing is like even if you take one or two fighters now and then just put whoever you like for the conference winner and just do it for a smaller portion or a tenth of a unit that you normally would do and just start building those up a little bit too, because then you can just start really getting it stacked up even more.
Yeah, that's something that's pretty fun to do too. Is like I personally do mostly future bets for my betting style, and all the time if there's like a UFC fight where I'm like, oh, like Jillian Robertson is a lock for me, I'm gonna put Robertson on
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 parlays with teams who might win the NCAA championship or the NBA finals or the uh, Major League Baseball, the World Series. You could even
Yeah.
do hockey, but it's fun to do future bets with
Yep.
whoever you think might win on a Saturday while you're sitting back watching and enjoying the
Because
fights
then
or
it'll just
games.
boost those odds like crazy. You'll take like a plus 300 to plus 600 or 700 easy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take Jillian Robertson uh, in Arizona. Arizona's like plus 450 to win it all right now. If you put Robertson on that at the minus like 220, that's going to boost Arizona to possibly plus 650, 700.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, 100%, dude. So I think sometimes that's a good way to do it. I know you do it a lot. You get crazy. Uh, Shit, what was your World Series last year? Was it the Dodgers?
Yeah, that was the biggest bet that I ever won in my life. It I had like 12 tickets that all cash, but the one that was a lot was it was a $25 bet for $10,000, $10,500. So that was the best hit that I've ever had in sports betting. It totaled out with the 12 tickets. It totaled out to about 19,000, but that was my biggest win in sports betting ever. So hopefully I can do it
See,
again
and that was
someday.
just off a $25 bet to win 10 grand. I mean, that's insane, bro. That's literally like a lottery ticket. That's like
It
hitting a
had
progressive jackpot.
it had um UConn UConn men's basketball. It had I want to say the Kansas City Chiefs whenever they won the Super Bowl, and then later that year the Dodgers won the World Series. I think that was the
Yeah,
ticket.
you were so stacked up, dude. You had so many tickets going. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was a good vibe right there. But you know what? I'm looking to do it again. Um, yeah, I'm.
Yeah,
If
baby.
you're a serious better, take Arizona to win it all, man. I feel crazy about them, and I hate Arizona. Like personally, no offense to you, I almost want
I
to
know,
like
I
him
know.
because of you. But one of my really good friends, his name's D'Lo. He's one of those. He's like a Cowboys fan, bro. Every year that I've known him, he says Arizona's gonna win it all. Something always happens, so it's almost annoying. But this year, I'm like, oh yeah, this is their year finally.
This is our chance. I think, like you said, I think the coaching, the program, the kids, I think just everything's clicking right now. They're just a
There's
well-oiled
dude, and you
machine.
guys are like 9 guys deep. I mean, you got guys coming off the bench that would start on 99% of teams.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that makes the biggest difference. We can sub out, and it doesn't look like anybody changed. They got enough guys for each position. It's just it's flawless. It's smooth.
Yeah, facts, bro. But all right, guys, so that's our podcast. I know we got out a little late this week. That's my fault. I wasn't feeling that well yesterday, and I know Mad Dog was had some obligations as
For
well. So we'll try our best to get this done on Wednesdays and push it out in the future. But yeah, have fun betting this weekend. Good luck to everybody, and hopefully we all win some money. It's always us versus the sports book.
That's it, baby. Let's win. All right, guys. Be safe. Boom.